Have you ever noticed that the moment you decided to get serious about your purpose, everything seemed to crumble? The moment you committed to that dream, resistance came from all directions. The moment you started walking in your truth, the challenges multiplied, and you thought, did I make a mistake? Should I just go back to playing it safe? Listen carefully. If darkness isn't fighting you, you're not threatening it. The battles you're experiencing right now aren't proof that you're on the wrong path. They're confirmation that you're on the right one. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 5 specific attacks that actually confirm you exactly where you need to be. And by the end, you're going to recognize that what felt like opposition is actually validation. Attack 1. Sudden opposition from people you trusted. The first attack that confirms you on the right path is unexpected resistance from people who used to support you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The friend who was always encouraging suddenly becomes critical. The family member who cheered you on now questions everything. The mentor who guided you is now distant or dismissive. People who once celebrated you are now challenging you, doubting you, or worse, talking about you behind your back. And you're confused because nothing about you changed. You're still the same person. You just started pursuing what you were called to do. Here's what's happening. Your action is exposing their inaction. Your courage is confronting their fear. Your movement is highlighting their stagnation. And instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. This isn't new. Look at Nehemiah from ancient texts. Life called him to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. It was clearly the right mission. The need was obvious. The purpose was righteous. But the moment Nehemiah started building, opposition came. When his enemies heard about the rebuilding, they became angry and mocked him. What are those feeble people doing? Will they restore their wall? They ridiculed. They questioned his ability. But watch what Nehemiah did. He kept building. He didn't stop. He didn't defend himself. He didn't argue. He kept working. Opposition from people doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're dangerous to mediocrity. When you were passive, nobody cared. But now that you're pursuing purpose, you're a threat. If everyone is comfortable with your choices, you're probably not being bold enough. The opposition isn't a detour, it's confirmation. Attack 2. Increased mental and spiritual warfare. The second attack that confirms you're on the right path, intensified internal battles, doubt, fear, anxiety, and mental torment. Suddenly you can't focus like you used to. You're having intrusive thoughts. You're battling fear in ways you haven't in years. You wake up in the middle of the night with anxiety. Your mind races with worst-case scenarios, and the enemy whispers, "See? This isn't right. If it were right, you'd have peace." That's a lie. Peace doesn't mean the absence of warfare. Peace means the presence of strength in the warfare. Look at Jesus in the wilderness. He had just been baptized. The Spirit had descended. Divine approval had been spoken. And immediately, the Spirit led him into the wilderness to be tested. The Spirit led him into the place of attack. Why? Because Jesus was about to launch his mission and darkness was terrified. For 40 days, Jesus was tested, hungry, exhausted, spiritually attacked. But after the wilderness, he emerged in power and changed the world. Ancient scripture tells us, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, authorities, and powers of darkness. When you step into your calling, you step onto the battlefield. Darkness doesn't attack dormant people, it attacks dangerous ones. If you're experiencing increased warfare right now, don't retreat. Don't question if you heard correctly. Stand firm and keep moving, because the fact that you're under attack means you're a threat. Attack 3. Sudden financial pressure or crisis. The third attack that confirms you're on the right path. Unexpected financial pressure or crisis. You step out in faith and suddenly the car breaks down, the medical bill arrives. You lose a client, an unexpected expense hits. And the enemy whispers, "See? You moved too soon. Go back to what's safe." But when life calls you to something, darkness will attack your finances to make you doubt the call. Why? Because if it can get you to compromise your purpose for financial security, it neutralizes your impact. Look at the Israelites in ancient texts. They had finally been delivered from Egypt. They were free. They were walking in promise. Then Pharaoh pursued them with his army. The Israelites found themselves trapped, sea in front, army behind, and they panicked. They said, "It would have been better to serve in Egypt than die here." Translation: this is too hard. We should have stayed where it was familiar. But Moses said, "Stand firm and you will see deliverance." And the sea parted. The financial pressure wasn't proof they were wrong. It was the setup for miraculous provision. When you're walking in purpose and financial pressure hits, it's not time to retreat. It's time to watch provision arrive in ways you've never seen before. Attack 4. Isolation and loneliness. The fourth attack that confirms you're on the right path, feeling alone, misunderstood, and unsupported. You look around and realize the crowd that used to be with you has thinned out. People who said they'd walk with you aren't there anymore. You feel like nobody gets it, like you're walking this road alone. And the enemy whispers, if this were really right, you'd have more support. But here's the truth, every great movement starts with a minority. Noah built an ark while the world mocked him. Abraham left his family to follow a promise. Moses led with a handful who believed. David was anointed while his brothers dismissed him. Truth doesn't call crowds, it calls the obedient. Elijah experienced this. He had just had a massive victory, calling down fire from heaven. But then threats came and he said, I am the only one left. But the response came, I have reserved 7,000. You're not alone, you just can't see the others yet. Your isolation isn't proof you're wrong. It's proof you're ahead. Ancient wisdom teaches, wide is the gate that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate that leads to life, and only a few find it. If you're feeling isolated in your pursuit, you're on the narrow road. Attack 5. Unexpected delays and closed doors. The fifth attack that confirms you're on the right path. Delays, closed doors, and obstacles that make no sense. You're doing everything right, but the door isn't opening, the breakthrough isn't coming. It's taking longer than expected, and you wonder, did I miss it? But delay is not denial. A closed door is not always a no. Sometimes it's a not yet. Joseph is the perfect example. Life gave him a vision. He would be a leader, it was clear. But then his brothers threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery. He was falsely accused and thrown in prison. For years, nothing made sense. But ancient wisdom reveals, you intended to harm me, but it was meant for good. Every delay was preparing him. Every closed door was positioning him. Every obstacle was part of the plan. The delay wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Life has an appointed time. Sometimes the delay is protecting you from something you can't see. Sometimes it's developing character you'll need. Sometimes it's aligning circumstances you don't know about. Don't quit now. If you're experiencing sudden opposition, increased warfare, financial pressure, isolation, or unexpected delays, you're not on the wrong path. You're on the right one. Darkness doesn't attack people who are sitting still. It attacks people who are moving forward. Stop interpreting attacks as evidence you're wrong. Start recognizing them as confirmation you're right. Nehemiah kept building. Jesus emerged from the wilderness in power. The Israelites walked through the sea. Elijah discovered he wasn't alone. Joseph became second in command. And you're going to break through. The attacks you're facing are not the end of your story. They're the middle, the part where the hero is tested before the victory. Don't quit. Don't retreat. Don't go back to comfortable. Keep moving. Keep believing. Keep walking. If this message confirmed what you're walking through, drop a comment that says, I'm not quitting. Let's create a community of people who recognize attacks as confirmation that we're dangerous to mediocrity. Hit subscribe because we drop content every week for people who refuse to give up when life gets hard. Share this with someone who's about to quit. Your share could be the encouragement they need. The attacks don't define you, your persistence does. Now go finish what you started.